This conference will now be recorded.
So, good evening, guys. My name is Srinivas. I'm having total 12 years of experience. Currently, I'm working as a Azure data engineer. So, my skill set are SQL, Python. Guys, whoever joined, please make self mute. Okay. Big data, Hadoop, Azure Databricks, Azure Data Factory, and Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay. So, as part of this course, we are going to discuss about basics of SQL. So today what is the agenda? Today I'm going to discuss about what is the data, what is database, what is RDBMS, and then SQL Server installation, and then how to use SSMS. So these things we are going to discuss. Now, here guys, before going to this SQL related, first let's understand what is data. Data is a collection of facts. It can be numbers, characters, audio files, video files, images, everything I can call it as a data. Everything I can call it as a data. What is database? Or suppose guys, if you have a phone number, okay, if you have whatever you are written characters, video files, images, everything I can call it as a data. This data somewhere we have to store. That is database. Database is a collection of logically related data. Database is a collection of logically related data. So here to store this data, or suppose consider before 1970s, okay, to store anything, for suppose you are doing, you are written, so you have a one details address, so where you are going to write it, so you are writing in the books. For suppose if you are running any business, so what is the profit, what is the loss, everything auditing we are writing in the books only. So here in earlier days, everything you are writing in the books. So if you want to write anything, so any address details, any business related, what are the transactions, what is the sales, purchase, everything we are going to write in the books only. So that is the database at earlier days. Now the same thing here, after end of the year, you are doing the calculation manually and you are going to come to know what is the total profit and what is the total loss of your business. In earlier days, as I said, everything we are going to store in the books. So at end of the year, we are doing the calculations and we will come to know what is the total profit and what is the total loss. Now the same thing in once the software industry came into picture, software development is happening. So we are storing the data in the database. We are storing the data in the database. Here, database is where you are going to store the data. DBMS is a software which organize the database. which organize the database. Here we can create a database, we can do insert, update, delete, everything we can do in the database. Okay, so DBMS, database management system, is a software. RDBMS, relational database management system. In this database, you are going to store everything in the files. In the RDBMS, we are going to store everything in the form of tables. Okay, so how the RDBMS look like, tables looks like, coming classes you will understand today. Now what you have to understand is RDBMS is a software, relational database management system is a software where you can see the data in the form of rows and columns. So what are the examples? Example, we have Oracle, SQL Server, Teradata, DB2. Likewise, several RDBMS softwares are there. So here we can store the data in the form of tables. What table contains? Rows and columns. Rows and columns. Here consider guys. For suppose consider in earlier days. Okay. So if you want to fill any application form, okay. So for suppose if you are writing any bank exams, how you are going to do? Everything you are going to write in the manual. Everything you are going to write in the manual. So you are filling the application form, you are posting it. So somewhere they are going to verify the application and they are going to release the call letter. Now once the softwares came into picture, once the database came into picture, what will happen is entire thing they are going to store in the database. Entire thing they are going to store the database and they are going to maintain the data in the form of tables, rows and columns. So here what will happen guys? Now if you observe for suppose,
Amama, Raya Vandaya, Raya.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you.
here guys, for suppose consider, okay, I have application form. Now when you are filling any application form, you are submitting the details here. When you do login, by default you will get some default ID. Okay, you are filling the details. Earlier manual applications forms, nowadays you are filling the details. Once you fill the details, you are submitting your application. Once you fill the details, you are submitting the application. Whatever the data you submitted, so here you can see the database. So in the database, once you submit the application, once you submit, so whatever the details are you submitted, okay, so you submit the details like, so you submit the details, so registration ID, name, gender, location, everything will be everything will be stored in the database in the form of table. How the table is looks like? The table is looks like rows and columns. So here I already have a data. I already have a data. Okay. Now when you do submit, one more record will be inserted here. How to create this table, how to create this table, what are the columns, those today you will understand. For the time being, what will happen is, when you submitted details, whatever the details are you entered, these details will store in the database. Database is a software, so there the data is stored in the form of rows and columns like this. Now once you submit, a record will be inserted here. A record will be inserted here in your database. So now the data in the database will be like this. Now the data will be in the like this because a new record is inserted here. Okay. Earlier, for suppose consider I have a book. Okay. In the book, I want to do what is the after end of the year, my business related, manually I am sitting and I am checking what is the total profit, what is the loss, calculations, everything I am doing. Now similar way, now the data is present here in my database. In this database, I want to get the information, I want to extract the required information. So for this, we have to use the language called SQL. For this, we have to use the language called SQL, so which is a structured query language. Okay. For suppose consider, so here for suppose there are two persons. So there are two persons. So here, between the two persons, if you want to get any communication, what you are doing, you are using a language. You are using a language. Which using language you are communicating between those two persons. Similar way, I have a database. I have a database. In this database, I have a data like this. In this database, I have a data like this. Now, I want to get the required information from this one. So here, I want to get the required information from the database. To do that, I have to write a statement. Here I have to use the SQL. So here we have to write a statement to extract data. Okay, to do operations on database. So SQL is a language. So here between the two persons, if you want to do anything, we are doing communication using the language, English, Hindi, Telugu, whatever. Similar way, if you want to interact with the database, so this database can understand only this language. So at the time of implementing this one, at the time of implementing this one, they designed like that. So whatever the statements we can write, only those statements only we can pass it to the database. Only those statements only we can pass it to the database. Okay. Just 1 second.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Could you please turn off that sound, that notification sound? It's irritating
Yeah,
actually.
how to turn off? I'm checking that one actually. I'm checking the same thing only. I want to lock this one. Okay. So now I'm doing logging. Okay, nobody will join now. So let it be. Okay. So here, sorry for the inconvenience, guys. Okay. So I have done the locking. So now nobody will join. So in this one, what you have to understand is first, what is the database? Database is a software where you are going to store your data. How to create a database, how to store the data, I will let you know. Now, to interact with the database, we have to use the SQL because at the time of creating the database, they clearly mentioned what is the statements you have to pass to do operations on the database. Now we have to understand. So what is the SQL? What are the statements which we can use to create a database, to insert a data, to update the data, delete data, operations, whatever we can do, those I'm going to use in the SQL. As this is database related, database management system or RDBMS. So here, as I said, we are having a different database RDBMS. We have Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Teradata, Netezza. Okay, so likewise, multiple things are there. All are we have to use the statements only. The statements will be differ database to database very slightly. Only 2%, 3% very I mean slight differences are there. As part of these sessions, I am going to discuss with the SQL Server. As part of these sessions, I am going to discuss with the SQL Server. Once you understand this one, okay, once you understand this one, automatically you can understand remaining. Automatically, for suppose consider, so here data type we have to mention as a varchar or text, but in other we are mentioning as a string. So like the slight differences are there. Okay, so here as part of this one I am going to discuss with the SQL Server now. So here first, how to set up SQL Server. So here guys, what I am going to do is I have my own system, my laptop. In this one I am going to install the database. So whatever I said the database, now this one I am going to install my local machine. This database, okay, so DB I'm going to install database management system, RDBMS I'm going to install. So which is a SQL Server. It is a SQL Server. I'm going to install this one. Now, guys, up to now clear or any doubts? Array, how to skip these notifications? I'm not sure, man. I'm so sorry. Okay. So tomorrow, my kilo camera.
There's something called play entry and exit chimes. Can you off that notifications?
Okay,
Yeah.
this one. Fine.
That
Okay. Okay. Thanks, man. Now, so here as part of these sessions, I'm going to discuss about this one, SQL Server related. So in the SQL Server related, we'll do how to do installation and how to use that one, how to create a tables. As I said earlier, as I said, everything here in the form of rows and columns. So how to create those things we will discuss now. So first,
Excuse me, 1 second, sir. Could you just help me understand how to set up SQL Server once again? I'm just stuck
I did
there.
not set up. I did not set up that one. I'm going to do that.
Okay,
I
yeah,
did not
thanks.
set up that one. I'm going to do that. So SQL Server download. Go to here. So there is a SQL Server on premises. Okay, on premises. Download now. Just a fill up form. You can give your Gmail ID. So you can give any number, any name. Now download now. So here go to 64-bit edition. Now it will be downloaded. Okay. Now go to here, show in folder. So once you see this one, just double click. So it will be installation. So click basic. Class 30. Okay, it will take 2-3 minutes, guys.
Srinivas, just small doubt. You mentioned DBMS is a database management system, right? So
Yeah.
then how it will store the form of files?
So this backend, it is stored in the form of files. Okay, there will be namespaces are there. So there it is a small KB of files. In RDBMS, you can see representation. You can see in the form of tables only. Backend there will be files. Namespaces are there.
Not sure why the file it will store in the form of files for our DBMS.
It will be. You can see. You can check. You can search in the Google as well. So here, I would like to say one more thing. I have to explain SSMS. Okay, I will let you know.
So can we have a preview?
What preview?
So what you have
SQL
taught
preview,
till.
sir.
Sorry,
Setup of SQL
So
preview, sir. Can you please show the preview, sir?
did not understand. Sorry.
How to set up SQL, sir? How to set up SQL? Can you please show the preview, sir?
SQL. See, once you have done, see. Okay, let me repeat. So go to here. When you download this one, you can see this window. When you click this one, so it will be downloaded this file. So when you double click this one, installation will be happen, and here you can see once installation completed, you can see this one. So copy this one. This is the connection string. Okay, so just keep it somewhere. Okay, so there is a install SSMS. Install this one. So what is this SSMS? I will let you know. So here, download SSMS. Click this one. Shit. So what is this SSMS is? So here, guys, in the relational databases, SQL Server, here you can see data. Now the same thing, there is a there is a tool SSMS. SQL Server Management Studio. So this is just a UI. Using that, we can see the data in the form of UI manner. So in the database, we are going to store the data in the form of tables. So if you can see in the command line, or you can see in the SSMS. So here, so for suppose you are having a different databases. Okay, so this is DB1. So here this is one system, one server. So here it is running in this one. So here, to identify this SQL server related, what we have to go is, each system related there will be a host name, IP address, host name. This is the unique one. To connect it to this one, using this IP address or host name, we can connect it to the database. So here I have a system. In this one, I have a, this is my system, personal system. Here I installed SSMS. Here I installed SSMS. This is a kind of UI. This is a kind of software where you can connect it to the databases. In this one, when you do login, if I give this host name, from here I can connect it to here. Similar way, if I give this host name, I can connect it to here. I can connect it to here. So here what you have to understand is, this is SSMS is a kind of software, a UI, where you can connect it to any databases. So here make sure we have to provide the details. So details means what is the host name, what is the username, password, those things we have to provide. Now here guys, to identify this a database related, so we should require host name or IP address. And this database related, there will be a username, there will be a password, uniquely to identify. Now here this database related, host name, username, password, along with port number also. Port number also. So here we have to provide the port details. So when you give these details for from SSMS, we can connect it to this one. So here if you provide the same details of this one, if you provide the same details of here, if I provide the same details of this one, now it is going to connect it to this one. Now here, from here I can connect it to this one. Likewise, I can connect it to the databases. So now what I'm doing is, in my local, I'm setting this SSMS. From here I can connect it to the SQL server. So first, so the SQL server installation completed. Now I installed this SSMS also. So first I downloaded that one. So here you can see, open. So here the file will be like this. A setup file will be like this. Just double click this one, install. So this is a one-time activity installation. Okay.
So can we have a preview?
What is preview?
So what you have taught till
I'm sorry, I did not get you.
so what you have taught till we can have a preview on it.
Okay, got it. Got it, got it. So let me complete this one. Just let me open this one, okay? Just I will understand. I will repeat once again, no problem. Let me install. Let me complete this installation once. Close this one. So here, guys, once you do connect now, here you can see the SQL Server installation is completed and you are connected to the SQL Server. Now, the same thing we can do here in the SSMS also. When you type SSMS, you can connect it to this one. So once you opened, you can see like this. Once you opened, you can see like this. Connect a database engine. Click here. Right now, the server name is localhost. When you see the connection string, here you can see the server localhost. So it is going to connect it to the localhost. In the real time, okay, right now this SQL server is in running my local system. So here I am giving my local system, just localhost. So here in the real time, this database, okay, will run on any one of the other system. The system specific, we have a host name, username, password, we have to provide these details. Right now I am using by default Windows authentication. So as this is the local only, so we'll go for SQL Server. Coming classes I will understand, I will let you know. So today what you have to do is install SQL Server, install SSMS, and connect it to that one. Now I connected it to the local SQL Server. Once whatever we installed, we are connected to that one. Okay. So just I am repeating now. So here data is a collection of raw facts. It can be characters, integers, numbers, digits. I mean audio files, video files, images, everything we can call it as a data. Database is a place where you are going to store your data. Database management system is a software which is managing the database. In the relational database management systems, they organizing the data in the form of tables, rows and columns. In earlier days, before before software came into picture, people are storing the data in the books. Now at the end of the year, they will do manual calculations and they will come to know everything. Now the same thing, once the software came into picture, they are going to store the data in the form of database. Here how it is in the database, it is in the form of tables, rows and columns. Here what is SQL? So in this database, for suppose consider I'm saying, in the front end you are filling the form. Once you submit, the data is stored in the database in the form of rows and columns. Now how to create these tables, how to create these tables, rows and columns, I will let you know. For suppose I have the data in the table. Now my requirement is, I want to know the people who is having aggregate more than 75 75 75%. I want to release the call letters to them. I have a data. The data is present in the database, which is in the form of table. Now my requirement is in this table, I want to get people who is having the aggregate more than 75%. So this is nothing but I have to interact with the database. So whatever the table it has, from here I want to get the required information. To do that, we can use the language. So in the RDBMS, the data is there, but I want to get my required thing. So for this, I have to interact with the database. To do that, we can use SQL, structured query language. Here what will happen is, they provided some predefined statements, some predefined commands. Using that only we can interact. They provided, at the time of designing the database, they provided some predefined keywords. Using them, they provided standard syntaxes. Using that only we are interacting with the database. We will learn that language. What are the commands? What are the syntaxes? Use how to read the data, how to insert a data, how to delete updates, operations, whatever we can perform, that we will learn in this SQL sessions. Guys, this RDBMS can be Oracle, can be SQL Server, MySQL, Teradata. Likewise, we have a multiple databases. Everywhere we are using the same language, but there will be a slight differences, very slight differences. As part of this course, I am going to discuss with the SQL Server. To do that, we have to set up the environment in my local. So that's why I installed the database management. This one, I installed the SQL Server. Now, SSMS is a one more software. Using that, we can interact with the database management systems. I mean, SQL Server here. Here in the SSMS, we can see in the UI. Okay. Now, so from the SSMS, we can connect it to any databases, any SQL Server related. But make sure we have to give the host name, username, password, port number. Right now, what I am doing is, I installed this one. I am connecting to the local host. So when you do local host, so here this is the local system. So we are connecting to the SQL Server. Now I connected to the SQL Server here. Okay. Now, so here there is an editor. Here you can see new query. Just click this one. So here you can see. So in this one, we can create a database. Create database. Okay. SQL underscore practice. Now I want to execute this one. So here guys, this is the standard syntax. Create a database, create keyword, database keyword. We have to use this one. And this is name which you can specify anything. You can give your name, my name, whatever. Now to run this one. So here what happened is, I am passing an instruction to this one. So here using a command, I am passing an instruction to the database. Now it is going to execute that one. So here create a database. Now execute. Already exist. Okay. So okay, I am creating a database. Create database successfully. Now here you can see here, you can see one thing, SQL Server practice underscore may. Just to click this one. Now the same thing you can see here, SQL underscore practice may. Here you can see tables. Remember this guys. So views, tables, stored procedure, I will tell you later. For the time being, what you have to understand is, my requirement is, what I know today is, I know there is a database. Okay, in this one I can create a table. I can see the data in the form of rows and columns. Now, how to create a table? Create table. So here we have to give the table name. We have to give the table name. I am giving the table name as person underscore details. So we have to give like this. As I said, everything in terms of rows and columns. To identify this one, so here consider this is a, it is looks like, I mean, it is in Excel, but it is in a table format. So this one we can call it as a column. This one we can call it as a column. The entire thing we can call it as a row. Guys, in the sessions I could see many freshers, non-IT people, different experienced guys also sit there. So I have to say everyone point of view. So I am explaining each and everything. Okay. Now, so here you can see. So this is the table. Under that, what are the columns we have? So this is one table related. Okay, this is the registration details. So for suppose now I am giving the column name as a person underscore ID. Person underscore name. Okay. Now I have only two columns. So here we have to specify the data type. So here we have to specify the data type. So what is the data type? Data type is type of the data. So here I am creating a table, right? So for suppose consider I am creating a table. Okay. So this table name I am keeping as a person underscore details. This is my table name. In this one I have a column person underscore ID. Okay. Person underscore name. Okay. Now here at the time of table creation I have to specify whatever the values we are giving, what is the type of the data. Here generally for suppose you are giving the numbers, it will be in terms of characters. Okay, so here I can say person ID I am going to decide with numbers, person name I am going to decide with characters. So those information at the time of creating a table you have to decide. We have to decide. For suppose here I am saying boss, in this table I am inserting a numbers. In this table I am inserting a var character, characters. And also we have to specify the size. Okay, now I am going to execute this one. So in this guys, if you execute this one, everything will be executed. Make sure whatever the thing, whatever the portion you want to execute, select that one and execute that one. So command completed successfully. Now the table is created. So here you can see tables. Here you can see the dbo underscore person details. Okay, now here I created a table. Guys, these data types, how we have to specify, I mean, what are the data types are available in the SQL server. So here you can see SQL server data types. So this one, so whatever the data types it supports, they provided in this one categories, different categories of the data types it can support. Okay, so here what happened is At the time of designing the database, they clearly said, boss, these are all the data types only it can support. Like at the time of creating, they mentioned. So how do we know this one? We have to go for documentation. So each software related, not only this one, anything, they implemented a document based on that we have to design, we have to choose. Now SQL Server related, I got this image, data types. So these are all the data types. If you have any numerical related, we can give decimal, int, numeric, small int, like different data types are there. If you have any characters related, we can give char, text, varchar, anything we can give. Okay. Now, so what you have to understand is at the time of creating a table, you have to understand this one. Now I created a table. So in this table, I want to insert a data. In this table, I want to insert a data. So here there is a predefined syntax, insert into. Where do you want to insert? I want to insert in this table. So what is the values? As here if you observe, these things are predefined. So these things are predefined. We have to pass an instruction to the database using these keywords only. Okay. So here integer, and I am giving the name Srinivas. Now execute this one. To execute here, just select and execute. One row affected. Okay. Now I inserted one more record. Now select the portion, execute only that particular portion. Okay. Now I want to see the data. So just now I created a table, I inserted two records. So the two records will be like this. Now I want to see what the table contains. Okay. So here to do that one, I want to select from table. So here the syntax is, guys, select is a predefined keyword, from is a predefined keyword. This is your table name. So at the time of table design, so they have some predefined syntaxes. So this is select related. So select, okay, from, insert. So likewise they already designed it one. They designed like that. So we have to pass your instruction to this database like that only. Okay. So here select from, in this one, here you have to specify the columns. Okay. Now I want only person ID. Select person ID from this one. So here you can see I want both. Select person ID, person. So column name we have to specify this one, from person underscore details. You can see this one. So here you can see the data. So whatever the data you inserted, you can see the data here. Now observe this one, guys. Or suppose right now I have only two columns. If I have 100 columns, I want to see 100 columns. Here you no need to specify 100, just simply from person underscore details. So here guys, if you specify the star, what will happen is whatever the columns, all you can see here. Right now I have only 2 columns, so you can see here. Okay, so here what you have to understand is how to create a table. Make sure guys, you have to create a table and we have to specify the data type. What this data type represents in this, whatever the value you want to give, that you have to specify here. Okay, for suppose, observe here, I am inserting one more record. Insert into person underscore details. I have to, so if I am giving characters like this, so here we have to specify values. One row is inserted. Now observe here, one row is inserted. Okay, so now you inserted this one, select a star from person underscore details. So 3 records you can see. Okay, so likewise today take an assignment. Okay, create a table with 5 columns. Okay, insert 5 records. Now what we have to do is I'm going to create a table. Okay, create a table like employee. Now employee, so here I want columns like employee id integer, employee name, okay, varchar 20, salary integer, so which department he is working, okay, integer, location, location varchar 20. Okay, create a table with these columns and here insert a data. So you can insert anything guys. Okay, so create a data. So that is one thing, just a similar way. Okay, so that's fine. So and here what I want is select only 3 columns: employee id, employee name and salary. So one thing is this one, another one is select all the columns. Take this one as an assignment. So first thing is we have to install ssms, sorry, we have to install the database, install the, sorry, install SQL server, install ssms, and then create a table, insert a data, 5 records, and then select only 3 columns, select all the columns. Okay, do this as a, do this one as assignment and send me the screenshots of this one with this email id. Okay, any doubts guys? Any doubts, anyone? So,
Sir,
Sir, could you please show an assignment, please? Once again.
I will share this recording guys after the session. After the session I will share the recording, you can go through that one. So request you all, please join the WhatsApp group. Okay, so I shared a WhatsApp group, right? So you are in the group. So let me share here once again.
Sir, in
Sir,
that
what are
group,
the commonly used database? Yes,
Wait,
sir, what are the commonly
one
used
second,
data types?
one second, one second. Just give me 1 second. Let me drop one message. One second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I am open the email. 1 second. Just give me. Guys, so please join this one, okay, in this community group. So I'm going to provide the recording everything in this one. So after half an hour I will provide. Okay, now you can ask me the doubts, guys. So this is for today,
So
guys. Okay, now you can ask me the good doubts.
I have a
This
question.
conference will now
Yep,
be recorded.
sorry, you can ask me.
Okay, sir, can you tell me what are the commonly used data types? And
Okay, so you can see,
and
yeah.
other thing is why you mentioned 20 in varchar, and is
Okay,
there any other types of char? I have seen on the internet that there is also a char, only char. So what is the difference
okay.
between char and varchar?
So care and where
Thank you.
care. So here, okay, where care, the whatever the character you are inserted, that will be differ. Okay, so it will be vary and the memory will be vary here. So guys, here if you go to the data types, I can say this one. So here you can choose a care, where care, the memory allocation will be differ. So you no need to learn all those things, guys. Okay, so very basic things are a date time. Okay, so these three we will use. Float we will use, and int, decimal, okay, big int, numeric. Mainly we are using these things. Okay, in depth if you want, go to the documentation, guys. Go to the documentation, so they explained each and everything here. Next, 1 second, they posted some doubts here, just
Sir,
give me.
this will
Yeah,
be a 10-day course with what you will be teaching and covering in this 10 days.
okay. So in these 10 days I'm going to cover mainly filter conditions, aggregations, joins, window functions. Okay, so mainly I'm going to cover those things. So here I'm going to cover operators, aggregate operators, functions, aggregate functions, scalar functions, and then joins, window functions. Okay, those things I'm going to cover. So these are all common to everything. Every database it is common. Window functions. And completely I'm going to give you a practical oriented, and I'm going to give the assignments. Okay.
So
So
how about
here,
like
yeah.
stored procedures? No.
Now I'm not discussing that one because actually that is entire different. I mean to say, so again it will take 15 to 20 days. As part of these 10 days, I'm not discussing, but later I will discuss. So here my intention is, freshers are many people, they are scared about the this one. So non-IT to IT people were scared about this one SQL related. So let them habituated with this one. So in these 10 days, I am not discussing. Later I will discuss. So I will make
Oh,
one more sessions. There I am going to discussing. See, first they habituated with the database. Okay. Next I am going to discuss the PLSQL part, cursors, stored procs, triggers I will discuss, and also I will discuss the data warehouse concepts also. So if I discuss all those things right away, people will scared. First let them habituated with this one. Okay, so coming classes I will discuss.
So is there any continuation, sir, to this? Like you would be extending this training, or that would be a separate training?
So right now, as these 10 days, I'm planning for this one only. Later, I will plan complete this one SQL Server related. Because why I'm doing this one is now the same thing is available in the data engineering related also. See, once you strong this one, guys, once you strong this one, trust me, it will be helpful everywhere. Nowadays, okay, nowadays, at least one programming language. I'm going to discuss with the Python and I'm going to discuss SQL and one cloud. These three are mandatory in your resume. So here I have my Python sessions. Guys, if you have a time, you can go through that one also. So that is available in the YouTube. So you can go through this one, guys. So if before you joining anywhere, okay, first complete my Python sessions, then you can go anywhere. So mine is completely practical oriented. I discussed. Okay. So here nowadays, so in your school days, college days, people are scared about the mathematics. Similar way in the software industry, there is a myth regarding this programming language related. Start the journey with my Python and MySQL. You will get a confidence. Okay.
Where you will keep the recordings, today's
So
recording?
today recording I will share in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So you join. You might join the community. Okay. There I will posting after 1 hour. Okay. So go through
Sir,
the recording before session.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Sorry.
Which community?
I shared WhatsApp. Okay, sorry. I
Okay,
shared
okay,
here. I shared here a group.
okay,
I shared. You can join to that one. Okay.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tomorrow also, guys, you can join the session with the same link, same time.
Sir,
Same
small
link,
doubt, sir.
same time. Yeah, yeah.
Sir, freshers will be do practice is done at a time, sir.
So freshers also, whoever you are, okay, if you are entering into the software industry, okay, if you are
Okay.
entering into the software industry,
Okay.
complete my Python sessions and complete my SQL sessions. Trust me, it will be helpful. After that, you can go join anywhere. You can do anything. So as
Sir,
part of here, hmm,
I think what I am asking now, you are telling one, you are giving a practice session right now.
sorry, I did
It
not
will
get you.
be, hello.
Yeah,
Sir, now you will give you one assignment now.
yes, yes.
It will be practice freshers only.
No, everybody, whether you are 10
Okay.
years experience, 15 years experience, whoever you are, I want this
Okay.
assignment because everything we are interacting with the database. So, guys, this is
Yes.
completely practical oriented. So, after the session, if you have 1 hour, 2 hour time, at least 1 hour time to practice, then only do join. Okay, this is completely practical oriented only. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You can join the session, same link tomorrow, and also refer your friends who are interested or share this recording so that everybody, everyone, it will be helpful for everyone. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.